of you have heard. This is from William Shakespeare about more than, say, 4 centuries ago. William Shakespeare wrote, "All the world's a stage," right? Everybody has heard that. Now, his words are truer today than ever before, right? Everybody is on either virtual stage or a physical stage, and the barriers to entering into a stage are at an all-time low. So anybody can get on the stage. Now, if you have an idea to sell, if you have something to say, you need a stage. So there is a stage which is available to all of us, but the stage is crowded. It's never been more crowded. And that means that it doesn't just matter being on the stage, right? What you need is to do the right things so that the lights are shining on you and that you are building an audience. Only then this stage will matter for you. And for that specific purpose, at Toastmasters Club of Storytellers, we believe that what you need the most is good storytelling skills. Our mission for the club is to help hone storytelling skills, and we do so by following the mission of the Toastmasters clubs. Toastmasters Club mission is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every individual member has the opportunity to develop oral communication and leadership skills, which in turn foster self confidence and personal growth. Before we kick off today's meeting, there are a couple of ground rules that I would like to share. First, sex, politics, and religion are sensitive topics and therefore either refrain from using them, or if you have to use these, handle them delicately. Secondly, I would encourage all of you to be actively participating in the meeting. Try to keep your video on and unmute yourself if you have something to say so that you can make the most out of the meeting. Thirdly, at Toastmasters, we laugh a lot, we smile a lot, and we clap a lot. So let's do that as much as possible today. And with that, I would like to invite our Madam President, Toastmaster Mehak, for the opening address. Toastmaster Mehak is a BCom honors student at Delhi University. She loves to spend time drawing, painting, reading, and listening to music. So let's unmute ourselves and welcome our President, Madam President, Toastmaster Mehak Kapoor.
Thank you so much, Sergeant Kikams, for such a warm welcome. Greetings, dear members and guests. I welcome you all to the Hungry Gang 16th meeting of Toastmasters Club of Storytellers. Well, before moving ahead of the meeting, first I would like to give a shout out to Toastmaster Mohit, since he has started with the weekly prompt writing on storytelling for our Toastmasters for our website, that is Toastmasters Club of Storytellers. So first, let's give a round of an applause for him for starting this, and I would appreciate the members to contribute as much as you can for that writing prompt, so that you get a feature on the club's newsletter as well as on the club's website. So today, towards the end of the session, we're also going to release the newsletter of our club. And before that, first, I would like to welcome all the guests. And first, starting with, I would like to have on stage, on virtual podium, Toastmaster Karthikeya to give a short introduction about himself.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. Okay, I am a Toastmaster and I am from Capital City Toastmasters. It's an offline club. And I was just browsing if there are some good online clubs out there. So the name Toastmasters Club of Storytelling was intriguing me. What is, I don't know what storytelling plays, what role storytelling plays a part in your club, but I am excited for the meeting.
That's great. Thank you so much, Karthikeya, for joining in today. Next, I would like to invite on stage guest Rahul to please give a short introduction about himself.
Hi everyone, am I audible?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, so my name is Rahul and I'm actually a part of Toastmasters Club of West Delhi. And yeah, I know this club as well. I know Toastmaster Mohit Sani, and I think I attended one meeting of Toastmasters Club of Storyteller in the past as well. So I just saw the notification today that meeting room is open. So I thought, why not to join this meeting? And yeah, that's about me. What else should I share? I don't know.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul, for joining in for the meeting today.
Yeah.
Next, I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Devin to please give a short introduction about himself.
I believe he's not.
You're not audible.
Yeah. Now his audio is set up. You can re-announce.
Toastmaster Devin, please, I would request you to give a short introduction about
Is
yourself.
it audible now?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So hi team. So this is Devin. I am part of CBRE organization. So we also have a Toastmasters club, and I used to join this meeting in a while. So last time when I joined, so it was the 100th meeting of this club. So today I'm excited to join this meeting again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Devin, for joining in. And for everyone, this is just a piece of information that on 9th April 2023, we are going to invite author Rohan Batra for his address. Like he has written a book, Monk Your Mind. So I would request everyone to join for the session where you get insights about his experiences of a book writing journey. So with this, now I would like to invite on stage our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lukesh, sharing his insights about his own YouTube channel with a round of an applause.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mehak and our president. Before we delve into the topic of the day, I believe we all are Toastmasters. Let's refresh ourselves. The Toastmaster is basically now in 144 countries. And we are in the 99th year now. There are close to 15,000 clubs across the world with 280,000 members in, as I said, 144 countries. So I am actually proud that such a system is working for 99 years and we are part of it, improving. In fact, somebody yesterday was talking to me and we were discussing that YouTube thing, and that it figured out when they watched my videos, the first question they had is, how come you are slightly better speaker than a novice who doesn't know anything about YouTube? And they said, okay, thank you, Toastmasters. And then he said, what is Toastmasters? I said, okay, you are a YouTube expert and you don't know Toastmasters. So I know Toastmasters and I'm not a YouTube expert. So that chemistry should work. And let us bring together our knowledge. I will make sure that you become a good speaker, you become a good communicator, and you make sure that I become a good YouTuber. When do you want to start a YouTube channel? So just an open question to people. I know everybody knows YouTube. Most of us must be watching it as well. Raise your hand if somebody says, I do not watch a YouTube. I'd like to highlight you. Anybody here who says
All
no?
the time, all the time. I want to start my YouTube channel all the time.
Okay. My question is to the person who doesn't even know what YouTube is or he doesn't watches YouTube. Anybody here? No, none. I assume it has to be like that only with the digital world, with the 80% of us being the content consumers. So that is something which I figured out in a lot of conferences, a lot of think big kind of sessions, that the world is divided into two parts. There are people who will be content consumers and there will be few people who will be content creators. And YouTube is one of the biggest platform to become a creator of content. Especially when you are a Toastmaster, it makes all sense to be a YouTuber speaking about anything which you like. It's not about influencing, it's not about likes. I'm not talking about commercials, how YouTube pays you and anything, nothing of that sort. My thought process is that if you know something and you'd like to share something, even journaling, I have seen so many YouTube videos now where people are just showcasing themselves as a family things, storytelling, telling anything about the field. So that is where YouTube came into our thought process. And when I watched my entire business strategy for this year, when we opened up our office, and by the way, Mehek, we have already discussed, we can have meetings in my office, just an ample space of 15-20 people can sit down there. As before, I've been telling why to start a YouTube channel. That was a question asked by my son actually, that you have a YouTube channel, it has some videos, but why you want to go so aggressive? And when you say you want to be a YouTuber, you want to create a professional YouTube channel, and ask you guys, what all do you need behind the scene to be a successful YouTuber? Anybody?
A good content.
Sorry?
A good content.
A good content. So how will you get a good content? So you need a content writer. At least a writer who can shape your content which you are going to talk about. Anybody else? Now keep thinking. Who else?
I think you need a lot of patience because in this day and age, there are you have a lot of competitors in the market. So
Patience. And what about physical things? What physical things do you need for a YouTuber?
all the setup,
Studio, lights,
not studios, but at least
Camera.
a camera,
right.
good lighting, a YouTube editor or a video editor, right? Even if you
Yeah,
are
software.
only if you're going for yes, even you want to become your own video editor, then you need softwares.
Yeah.
So my strategy, since my son is a brand manager in a creative agency, so I had a lot of help, and he said, okay, what you need is, first of all, because of your complex business and your CSR activities, you work with government, you work with education, environment, and connected and vendor and animal management, you need a brand strategist, first of all. Because what you sell on YouTube, what you speak on YouTube must connect to a specific audience with a specific way. It is not a random YouTube channel you're opening to air your views. It's not journaling you're doing, and you'll have maybe 10-20 people watching it and you're happy about it. You want to take it in a very big way. And that is how we got down and say, okay, before we even say why, let's work out what is the budget. So brand strategist, videographer, which my son will be volunteering on weekends, video editor, which is in-house, because we are going to shoot almost 6 or 7 videos on different topics, one video every second day on one topic. It's a lot of content. Then you have graphic designer, who's going to basically work on your graphics on the content side. If you are creating a content, then you need to post it on social media, you need some graphics. A graphic designer, then you need to also have a social media manager, because your platforms will be run by somebody who knows how social media works. The keyword search, when you post a content on LinkedIn or even Google or blog or on your website or anything, how does PPC works? How many of you know PPC? Anybody? What is a PPC?
What is it? PPC?
Yeah.
Think you're referring to pay-per-click.
Exactly. So when you want to post a content, either you pay as an ad or pay to a Facebook or Instagram or whatever to promote your thing. But then there are PPC accounts where you pay per click. If you have a very catchy keyword which you have inserted in your content, that is watched by many people, they click on it, and your article or your content came in, and then your video comes in, then you pay because somebody clicked on that. So that is also one of the biggest strategy a social media person has it. Anyway, we're going to talk about, so I started hiring people. I posted on in LinkedIn, which is most of my influence is there on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is actually very hiring website. I'm going to come back and speak about a lot of interesting answers to my interview posting. Before that, let's delve into what we are here today. So this entire meeting is divided into 3 parts. One is the prepared speech. We have one speaker today. We have one evaluator. And Once it is done, the second section would be a table topic session, and I assume because of one speaker, I would request our table topic master to give ample opportunity to all of us to speak so that we all can take advantage of the time and hone our impromptu speech skills. The third section will be an evaluation section where we will be evaluating the speech in all context. A general evaluation, how was the grammar, how was the pauses like ahs and ums, the structure and everything. The fourth, which is so-called not a session officially, but it's a feedback form. It's a feedback, and since we have 3 guests from other clubs, and they're all Toastmasters, I will hugely recommend and request them to offer us a genuine feedback on our session. Before I go back to my funny interview questions and answers and e-meetings with the candidates, I will invite our general evaluator and our president, Toastmaster Mehak. And before I do, I will reintroduce her because Toastmaster Mohit missed certain things. It's hard to believe for me that at a tender age of 20 years, she's a young Toastmaster who's covered majorly all the roles like VP Ed, VP PR, I think president for twice. This is the second term. And as he said, she's still pursuing commerce degree in college, but you should be looking at a brilliant brushes on Insta, which is a tag name on Insta, to look at her art. Mohit did mention she loves sketching, but you can see all those things. And I did, and Rajdanos, I did tell her as well that they can become very good career for you if you start selling your art. So sky's the limit, Toastmaster Mehak. I invite you on the virtual stage.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Game. Greetings, dear members and guests. Once again, I welcome you all. And today I'm going to perform the role of General Evaluator. As a General Evaluator, it is my job to evaluate the overall performance of the meeting as a whole. And I will provide my honest opinion and the feedback about the meeting. So starting with, I will not be able to do this alone. So I have a team of tag team players, starting with timer for the day. I would request Toastmaster Mohit to come up on stage and introduce his role as a timer for the meeting.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mehak. Round of applause for Mehak. I was busy posting about her Instagram channel. So, so there you have it, the Brilliant Brushes Instagram channel where we have Toastmaster Mehak's artwork. Coming back to business, as a timer for the day, I will be keeping a track of the timing that everybody uses for their speeches, whether it is prepared speeches, table topics, or evaluation. For all of these sections, the time is already decided and we must respect that time. For the prepared speeches, the timing is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. At the end of 5 minutes, I'll show this green sort of signal that you see as my background. At the end of 6 minutes, this will change to amber or yellow. And at the end of 7 minutes, this will change to red. Similarly, for table topics, the time allotted is 1 to 2 minutes. At the end of 1 minute, I'll display the green light. At the end of 1 minute and 30 seconds, it will be the yellow light. And at the end of 2 minutes, it will be the red light. So there's a 30 seconds of grace on the upper side for table topics. So the maximum that anybody can speak is 2 minutes and 30 seconds. For the evaluations, the time allotted is 2 to 3 minutes. So you will see the green light at 2, the yellow light at 2:30, and the red light at 3 minutes. Once again, even for evaluations, the upper limit, the 30 seconds of margin on the upper side. So you can speak for a maximum of 3 minutes and 30 seconds as the evaluator. That's all I have for my role. I'll hand it over back to Toastmaster Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit, for a brilliant introduction about your role as a timer. Next, I would like to invite the hour counter for the meeting, Toastmaster Ghulam, to introduce his role.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. The purpose of our counter is to note words and sound that are used as scratch or pause filler. So during the meeting, I will be listening for overused words, including and, well, but, so. And I will also listen for filler words like are. And I also listen the repeats words like I, this mean, that mean, and I will represent my report in the end of the meeting. Over to you, Mehak. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gulam. Next, I would like to invite our grammarian for the day, Toastmaster Lavina.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So today I am playing the role of a grammarian. Talking about it, I would mostly focus about around the call on the good usages and the bad usages of English and the grammar. Also, I would be sharing the word of the day. And for today, the word of the day is acquiesce. That means agree, but not rather reluctantly. That means on the face of it, we agree, but deep down, we do not totally agree with something. It can be used like reluctantly, he acquiesced to the plans. I would be sharing the same on the chat. Now back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lavina, for explaining your role so well. Now we have active listener, again Toastmaster Mohit Sani.
Thank you once again, Toastmaster Mehak. As the active listener, I would be making a note of all that happened in the meeting. At the end of the meeting, I'll be asking certain questions to check how well we were present in the meeting and how well we were noting some of the learnings that were coming out in the session. So that will be like a test for all of us at the end of the meeting. Yep, that's all I have for that role. Back to you, General Evaluator Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit. Towards the end, I would just like to say that I will be providing constructive feedback to help the members and the guests improve their communication and leadership skills. So without further ado, let's get started and make the most of the meeting today. Now I present the stage back to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lokesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. We have great team of evaluators under our general evaluator, Toastmaster Mehak. So the funny side, I did post the job, and normally what I do is when I post the job, definitely there will be applicants coming. So I do not judge anyone by their resumes or what did they write. Normally people don't write cover letter. I assume they should, but especially when I posted a brand manager post, which is the senior most post, you are going to lead the team. There is a very detailed description I mentioned, expecting that there should be some professional brand managers coming up. Surprisingly, none of them wrote a cover letter, which is a great advice for people who are in the jobs or services. When you're looking for a job, do not leave the opportunity of writing a cover letter with your resume. You're applying on LinkedIn, you can just apply online, but you should write a few lines of why you should be hired anyway. And I started getting, I think I got 125 applications in 2 times of posting. So normally I ask trick questions to everyone. One is, why do you want to leave the job? What is your current CTC, and what is your expectation? The rest two are facts, that where do you live and how will you commute? Because I do not want people all the way from Gurgaon or Faridabad to come to Kirtinagar, because we have mentioned our location as well of the office. So the first 3 trick questions normally, and this is a question I'm throwing up upon you guys. Most of them will say, I had XYZ reason to leave the job or to change the job. My current CTC is, for example, 10 lakhs. And I am expecting 14, 15 lakhs, 13 lakhs, or 12 lakhs. Does it make sense when you are mentioning a reason to leave? You're mentioning a reason to relocate, my company's closed, I got sick, I am not liking the job. Apart from a personal growth reason that I'm looking to grow better, all other reasons are basically your reason to leave the job. And then you say, my CTC is this and I want a raise. So my second question goes, why would I give you a raise for your own reason of leaving a job? Does it make sense? Anybody? Am I making sense by asking this question?
I'm still sort of thinking, Toastmaster Lokesh. So you
Very
could have
tricky
your
question.
reason. You could
It's a
have.
very tricky question. There is an answer.
Hmm.
2 people out of, I think, 55 people who had replied, others were literally not even worth considering. One of them was very good, the very good answer. He said, I know that you're asking me my expectation. I have other offers in place. And when I'm changing my job for XYZ reason, which I mentioned, why would I not look for a better raise because I have a lot of options? If I had only you as an option, I will never ask for a raise. So that is the only reason you can give. You cannot say, no, I'm changing a job, I need a raise. No, you're not changing your job for a better growth. Or you're not saying I've overgrown in my job, there is a saturation and I need to move out and grow better. That makes sense. But that is not the reason you said. Your reason was, I'm changing because my company is relocating to a different place, or I'm relocating to a different place. I'm not in that scenario, or the company does not have too much business to now grow. So basically, the reasons which you are giving are all self-made. It's not like personal growth. Anyway, coming to that part, so one of the interview, and I would never forget this guy's interview. He came on the interview, and he was a freelancer, by the way. Mohit, when you were talking about freelancers, I said okay, and he never said he's a freelancer. He mentioned some other company to work. I said, okay, what are you doing right now? He said, I am a freelancer right now. I said, okay. And so you mentioned you were earning 6 lakhs. So is that your freelancing money? It's not counted as CTC? Yeah, I earn around that amount only. So why do you want to do a job when you're earning a good amount of money? You asked for 9 lakhs. Well, I'm applying for jobs because if the job is right, I quit freelancing. Excuse me? I said, can you explain what does that mean if the job is right? He said, yeah, if I'm happy in the job, I'll quit freelancing. And that triggered me as an employer. I said, you mean to say that if the job is suitable for you, if you are happy doing a job here, then you will quit freelancing. Otherwise, what else you do? You'll go back to freelancing. Yes, I will go back to freelancing. Such an obvious question in an interview. Do you think that guy can be hired? At a senior most position, which has to manage 4 more people. And we mentioned all the 4 people: social media manager, graphic designer, video editor, content writer. Give me an answer. Arjun, I'm making it slightly funny today. So I told this guy, I said, sorry, I cannot hire you, but yes, if you are a good freelancer, I'll ask you to send me a message again and pitch for business as a freelancer. Let me see what skills you have. All right. So before we get into more funny things of my hiring pains, I am going to invite now our first speaker. Hey, Arjun, how are you? And before I invite the first speaker, I'll invite her evaluator, Toastmaster Karthike. Karthike, I believe you're not given me your introduction, so I would request you to share your resume, interview introduction by yourself. I invite you on the virtual stage. Toastmaster Karthike.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lokesh. I think I have given my introduction. I did give a few minutes ago, didn't I?
In the chat?
No, on voice. I think Mehak asked for guest introduction.
Okay, then I must have missed. Just can you do it yourself, please?
Okay, anyways, I'm Karthike again, and I'm still from Capital City Toastmasters, and I will be evaluating Toastmaster Deepti today. Her speech title is Meet Maya Rani. Her pathway is motivational strategies. She's on level 3, and this is project 2. The objective of this project is to address strategies for improving her personal interactions by understanding the impact of her attitudes and thoughts on daily interactions. Best of luck to Toastmaster Deepti. I'm sure she would do a wonderful job. Thank you.
And Toastmaster Karthike, the speech is like 5 to 7 minutes.
Right.
Timer need to know.
The timer will has let everyone know the timings for the speeches. It's 5 to 7 minutes, 5 minutes green card, 6 minutes yellow card, and 7 minutes red card with a 30-second extra time permissible.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthike. So before I hand over the virtual stage to an experienced Toastmaster, Toastmaster Deepti, I remember her smiling face. The moment we met, I think the first time I did meet her before, I think in West Indian Toastmaster a couple of years back. She is a technical writer and very much a very good technical writer. I would say when she started helping us with resonance speeches and everything. Back to Toastmaster Deepti for her title of the day. Deepti, I have no clue on your subject today, so you have to tell us the subject.
Meet Maya Rani is the title of my speech.
Sorry,
Toastmaster location.
Sorry, Meet My Rani, Toastmaster Deepti. Toastmaster Deepti, Meet My Rani.
Don't you think the clothes you're wearing are too loose? Why do you walk like this? Why don't you stand up for yourself? Doesn't your wife think you're a coward? Bridge the gaps in your relationship before they widen. And this list goes on and on and on. My dear Toastmasters and guests, we meet Maya Ranis anytime, every time we hear such comments. They could be disguised as your 60-year-old aunt who thinks they've seen the world, or maybe a well-meaning friend, age no bar, who thinks they can change your life. They're full of advice. May I say, unsolicited advice? But well, more often than not, unsolicited advice feels like criticism. Criticism builds stress, especially when someone forces their intelligence on what you could be doing better. So a couple of years back, my husband and I worked at the same organization, and we ended up having some common friends, or rather, ended up having or knowing some commons we thought were friends. One such friend, Maya, was good friends with my husband and a hello hi kind to me, but particularly more knowledgeable and intelligent than the rest. No pun intended. She was well read through the Elif Shafaks and the Khalid Hussainis. She was well informed about the worldly politics, with opinions on everything, from how President Obama's landmark visit to India then would affect the economic progress, to who should take the reins from Prime Minister Modi when he retires or steps down. She was also well established in office, always seen in the circles, read the group fees of the senior directors. Now, when you have so much of wellness, you also want to be the good Samaritan and bestow your wisdom upon the world. So it so happened that one of the after lunch walks, Maya and my husband were engrossed in a conversation about what's going on in each other's lives, when my better half ended up sharing the crisis that the family was going through those times. The kid's nanny, lovingly called Didi, decided to leave us forever. What happens If Didi leaves us, well, nothing to us. But the kids, they were heartbroken. Our 3-year-old daughter had been crying profusely upon hearing the news. Our 7-year-old son, appearing stronger than his sister, decided to keep mum. The household had come to an uncanny standstill. And that, for a working household, is indeed a crisis situation. Now, I do not know what happened during or after the conversation, but what I do know and vividly remember is this. In the evening of the same day of the conversation, Maya and I happened to meet in the cafeteria, hurriedly refilling our last cups of caffeine before we could leave for home. We exchanged smiles and soft hellos. And as I was about to leave, Maya called out from behind, "Hey, Deepti, your husband told me about the situation at your place. How's your little girl coping up? He told me she was feeling miserable. After all, she considered the Didi her mama, her mother." I am taken by surprise. Wait, what? Was my expression. But she unassumingly continued. "You know, we should never have kids dependent on someone so much. No, we don't do it to our kids. Leave alone my mom-in-law. No. And what about a nanny? Never. We take care of kids ourselves. You know, you should have done the same." She sipped into her coffee, a quick bye, "See you tomorrow," and off she left. I looked at her and kept staring. I was confused. My lips twitched. My tummy had grumpy knots. I quietly came back to my desk, unhappy, upset, with a lot of unrest. What did Maya just do to me? Why did she do what she did? Did she pass a judgment? Or does she feel she's know-it-all? Or did she just want to exert her dominance? And then, what do I do now? Well, my first thought obviously was, well, thanks, but no thanks. Keep your suggestions with you, Maya. We are what we are and we're fine. But my second thought was that of a reflective thinker. Is she right? Should I have not made my kids so dependent on Didi? I was confused. I quickly opened Baba Google and searched for unsolicited advice on how to handle it. Well, my thought was that I'm not the first one to get it. Neither will I be the last. So the people in between, they would have handled it. So let me take their advice and come up with what I can do. Finally, after much search, I just stopped because I read what I wanted to read. I read that a well-meaning advice comes from a place of genuinely wanting to help. In its best state, advice is meant to be unselfish. And its worst, it's usually coming from a weak place, but definitely not from a mean place. I sat back, relaxed, and thought to myself, in my conversation with Maya, the unselfish part, of course, was creating independence for kids. Well said, Maya. Thank you for that. But the mean place was the personal attacks. Her words, "I wouldn't have done it this way," were not the best way to put it. But well, I thought all to myself, come on, Maya, I'm armed now. I'm armed with the difference between what's valuable, what's not, what's uncalled for, what is valid. I promise the next time you meet me in the cafeteria, I will listen to you intently. I will stay calm. I'll come back to my desk, get busy in work, worship, love, laughter, whatever. Pick up what might be valuable in your 2 minutes of advice and believe in the good. But well, if nothing else works, I'll come back to your desk and give you a tight hug. Because I feel that the world gets very difficult for the blind when they don't see any good in us. So thank you. Back to you, Tabletop Toastmaster of the day.
Great. So, timer, let's have 1 minute of silence to give feedback. You can give us in the chat box. You can give us in the guest WhatsApp group or our official Toastmaster group. Timer, please note 1 minute time.
Time is up.
Great. So in few of the interviews, I was actually acting as an acquiz, right? Grammarian, that's the right pronunciation, acquiz. I was accepting something without arguing. Okay. One important thing which I will ask all of you, when you interview, especially as an entrepreneur, and somebody senior who that trade, that skill you do not have, do you also learn what all it takes to be that position holder? Anybody? As an employer, when you're interviewing people for that specific skill like content strategist, brand manager, will you also learn from them of what it all takes? I'll repeat the question. Anybody?
Yes, definitely. I think a working knowledge of the role will help me in interviewing that person and also work more effectively with that person once he or she is hired.
That's exactly what happened with me. When I started interviewing, I was looking at my budget and somewhere people who were fitting in that budget. I couldn't find somebody the right side of the skill set. Said, I'm paying that this is my budget to pay. And I said, okay, let us look at the senior people who are charging almost like twice or thrice of what I was willing to pay. And I asked them to come and give us an interview. I did mention that you guys are really very expensive, but I would like to still interview. And that is one good tip I can give you as an entrepreneur, as an owner, or you can say as a business entrepreneurship. Do have that time to meet these people. So I met great content strategists, great brand managers. For example, if my budget was like 6 to 7 or 8 lakhs per annum, they were already getting 16, 20. One of them is actually 25. So asking for 30. Working in a very, very premium brand and ton of knowledge. There was one from England, who she's shifted here and now she's working as a consultant, as a brand manager. One interview eventually ended up in a 2-hour meeting, which is supposed to be only 30 minutes interview. Because we got into so much of engagement and discussion, she had done all the homework and she was prepared that she knew I cannot afford her. She was even prepared to offer a consultant because she was doing that with all the brands. So look at the evolution of when you start doing this team building. It is not important that you hire people and get that done. It was a lot of pain for me. Am I not getting the right brand manager or as content strategist? How will the entire team will start building up? And eventually I looked back and saw, okay, let me look at these people and start talking to them, and if we can hire for them as a consultant or a freelance, at least for first 3 months. Eventually, I have now 3 people who are pitching for a 3 month to 6 months contract as a consultant, as a freelancer, and they have huge knowledge. I have shortlisted 2 of them. Third is, I would say, not qualified enough. He never came, and that is one thing which funny part is that when you are looking for a job and you live very close by, and you say, okay, I can come and meet you. I said, yeah, why not? Any working day, just let me know. And you do confirm that I am coming tomorrow and you didn't turn up. No information. I am coming or not coming. I can come maybe later on. Do you think such people can be also good consultants?
No, never.
No. Leave apart you hiring. So those pains taught me a lot of that industry. I met a good consultant. She's seeking a job and she's very good in Google Analytics. I met and saw how there's a girl from Jalandhar. She said, I know A to Z of YouTube, how YouTube Analytics works. I offered her few tests. I offered her login of my channel and she came back brilliantly with the homework. Like I came to know even your 1 minute content of maybe 7 minute or 5 minute video will make or break your channel. You can actually go behind the channel and see how many people are watching your first minute and they're dropping out. Especially when you're talking about B2B channel. I'm not talking about entertainment channels or stand-up comedy or whatever. More a news channel or something funny or something like common engagement. Our channel is primarily only B2B. And then it's half of them are sitting out of India and half of them are sitting in India. So it's a very complex game. As he said, look at your videos. Even though some videos are only 120, 130 views, I can still figure out what people are not looking to hear because of the analytics behind your videos. So those are the things which I learned from those interviews. I'm still hiring. I'm still going on. I planned to launch by 1st April, so we are already late. But again, quality cannot be compromised. So before we go ahead, I would now start the third section, which is the evaluation section. And we have our great evaluator from Chandigarh, Toastmaster Saurabh. So before I bring him on stage, I think I should bring general evaluator and she will bring Toastmaster Saurabh, but I will introduce him when the turn comes up. So I'll hand over the stage to our general evaluator and president Toastmaster Mehak to start the evaluation section.
It would be cable topic session first.
Okay. Sorry, long time, eh? So table topic session, Mr. Saurabh, Toastmaster Saurabh. So the second section I was missing. I was getting into so much of my own YouTube channel challenges. So let's have a table topic session, and I think we have ample time today. So Toastmaster Saurabh, again request you give us a lot of time. And before I bring him, he's from Chandigarh and works as a business analytic manager. So he will understand a lot of analytics, what I'm talking about as a YouTuber. He joined Toastmaster recently and learning while taking up different roles in the meeting as part of the journey. And that's something which I have noticed myself. He has not missed any meeting of taking up a role. I believe I'm right. Toastmaster Saurabh, you have not been a content consumer, but you have been actually content creator by being a role player in all our meetings. Thank you very much. And I hand over the virtual stage to you to run the Toastmaster session. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lokesh, for the warm introduction. Greetings, everyone, and fellow Toastmasters and guests. So this is my first time as a table topic master. So I would like to introduce what table topics are. So in table topics, you will be given an impromptu topic on which you will have to speak for, or have time to speak for 1 to 2 minutes with an upper cap of 2 minutes and 30 seconds. and the topic will be related to the theme of the meeting. And this section will help you to organize your thoughts quickly and be able to put out your thoughts in an efficient manner, given a very brief amount of time, which is often the case in the real world. So about this role itself, I will be providing the prompts for the different table topics. And at the end of each speech, I will be sharing one or two lines about the speech itself. So we can begin now. And so first, I would like to invite upon stage an experienced member, so he and she or she can guide our path through these table topics. So I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Mohit to begin with, and the topic I have for him is, what do you think makes YouTube so successful? What do you think makes YouTube so successful? Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saurabh. Can somebody time me?
I will do that.
Okay, great. Thank you. So what makes YouTube so successful? Okay, so YouTube as a channel is one where we can include all sorts of media, like be it audio, video, be it pictures. It allows us to put in all kind of media in one common place. And that means that people with varying kind of uh, requirements, right? If I'm more of an audio person, I can just listen in. If I'm a video person, I can listen and see the video. And also, if I'm more of a picture person, right, to understand the content, then I can do that as well. So that is definitely one thing that came into offer as an advantage for YouTube to become successful, in my view. And secondly, I think the entry barrier is now become so low. Anybody with a phone has YouTube in it, right? All Android phones have it by default. All other, even Apple phones, YouTube is such a basic thing that anybody can easily install. And people enjoy recording themselves. I remember when I was a kid, even to record our voice used to be such a big pain. We used to have those re tape recorders, and we used to keep on trying to record and re-record our voice on the same worn out tapes. Now it is so much easier. A kid with a phone can record themselves and make their voice heard to anybody in the world. And that is the power of YouTube. Um, Now, having said that, I think YouTube is definitely successful, but whether we will be successful or not in using it is the main and more important question. And that's where our own skills and other tools that are required to make our voice heard come into the picture. And that means that we have to say our message in a way in which the audience who's listening can understand. And we have to have the skills to use the tools which will help us in uh, making our message more clear. So that I think is the reason for YouTube to be successful. But like I said, we have to be successful. That's more important. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster Saurabh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mohit, for this beautiful explanation on the success of YouTube. And apologies from my side, I didn't time the green part. I had missed the 1 minute mark. And so moving on, I would like to open the stage to other members and guests as well, who I hope will acquiesce to being called on stage and give their first table topic. So first, if anyone wants to come on stage, please raise their hand. Okay, I see Toastmaster Rahul. So we can start with you. So your topic is, Would you rather be a freelancer or be an employee in a company? Would you rather be a freelancer or be an employee in a company? Toastmaster Rahul.
Okay. So even I have thought about it a lot. That can I maybe be a freelancer, do my business? Because I'm someone who have been working with an organization for last 13, 14 years. And this thought never came to my mind. And that I can be a freelancer. Although yes, one should not restrict himself or herself to one just thought that you can just be an employee. So yes, from that point of view, I think that I can be a freelancer. But when I go back to past, go back to the kind of person I am, the kind of the mindset I have always told myself, I can't be a freelancer. I am someone who can work really hard with smart thinking for any organization, get a good salary at the end of the month, fund my expenses, support my family, take care of my life partner as well, my kids. So I think I'm a kind of person who would continue to work, I think maybe until I get retired. Maybe after that I can get into a freelancing, because then I would have a lot of time to think about the other side of the life, other side of the business. But I think I would continue to work until I take the retirement. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul, to give your inputs on this topic. So moving on, I see Arjun's hand is up. So our team, Arjun, the topic for you is follow your passion and you will find your career. Follow your passion and you will find your career. Toastmaster Arjun.
I once knew a person who thought that his passion was stand-up comedy, and he decided that he did not need to study, he did not need to get a degree. He will just go do open mic and he will perform. And one day he will get good enough within 3 years that he will be. One of his videos will get 1 million, 2 million.
Sorry,
views.
Toastmaster Arjun. Sorry to interrupt you, but there is an audio issue, it seems. Can you check
Okay.
your audio?
Yeah, I'll go later then, like, because there's too much fan noise here. So I'll go
Okay.
later.
All right, sure.
Yeah.
Apologies, Saurabh, back to you. There was an audio issue, so I had to come in.
So no worries. We can move to the next speaker and the next table topic. So I would like to invite another member or guest. Okay, I see Karthikey's hand is up. So TM Karthikey, your topic is, what is your favorite social media platform and why? What is your favorite social media platform and why? Toastmaster Karthikey.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saurabh. Okay. So what is my favorite social media platform and why? First of all, I don't think I need to really answer that question because I don't really like any of them. So Facebook, I think that has had a lot of controversies throughout the world. It has caused a political turmoil in so many countries. I'm not a big fan of Facebook, not a big fan of any of the CEOs. I'm not a big fan of Instagram. They are spamming reels all day, spamming, I would say, less than ideal posts for a whole entire generation all day. So not a big fan of Instagram either. I think LinkedIn counts as a social media platform that will give me a job that will help me feed my children, future children. I don't have it right now. But so I think LinkedIn, I would go with LinkedIn as my favorite social media platform, even though I don't have any impressive profile or anything there, right? Wait, we can also consider YouTube as a social media platform, right? If that is the case, YouTube is my second home, my virtual home. So YouTube is definitely my social media platform, and all the evils that YouTube does, I will accept all of them because I've grown up on YouTube. And speaking of what other social media platforms do we have? Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, MySpace used to exist. We will not count that. I've never seen it. I think that's it. YouTube is the answer. YouTube, as the previous table topic speaker, two table topic speakers before we have our first table topic speaker, gave us many positive points about YouTube. It's really a miracle, isn't it? Like, if you introduce YouTube to a caveman from 3000 years ago, his mind would be blown. How are you capturing reality in such a small window and so many snippets of reality? Such a huge database YouTube has. So that aspect of reality itself that we have captured in technology, that itself makes YouTube a pioneer in this field. So YouTube is my answer overall. That is my favorite social media platform. We can call it that. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeya, for such an honest and engaging answer on this topic. So now I would like to call upon the next volunteer, and I see Toastmaster Mehak's hand is up. So the topic for you is Internet has forever altered the way people interact with each other. Internet has forever altered the way people interact with each other. Toastmaster Mehak.
Well, definitely, Toastmaster Saurabh, Internet has. And now with the introduction of ChatGPT, I think it is overblown everything. Now, whenever I sit back and relax, I think I have a platform where I can coordinate with my friend ChatGPT. You put on anything, any line, you will get a very impressive answer from the ChatGPT. Last week, it was my sister's exam, and I put up the question over there. I got the answer. She has got the answer correct. The other day, she moved to her tuition. She asked the answer from a tuition teacher, and the answer was not the same answered by the ChatGPT. So I quickly put on the ChatGPT that my sister has got the same answer, but her tuition teacher has not. And you were wrong. ChatGPT apologized to me for the mistake that it made. But it still, however, apologized for the mistake that it made. But it, however, still continued to give the same answers. Even though now it still apologizes for the mistake. And after that, it also accused the tuition teacher that he is wrong and I am correct. Well, there are many other funny instances that I would like to share about how ChatGPT has transformed the way I communicate now more often than it, rather than using Google. Because now the way have transformed our lives by introducing it to an artificial platform. Though it is an artificial platform, I still recommend and would suggest using less of such a platform by sharing your personal information or any other kind of things that you are putting onto that, since it may cause or it may harm your devices, or it may hamper your the personal things that you are sharing with it. So stick on to your original thing, that is Google, because I still believe that Google is a more secure platform than ChatGPT. However, the conversations, the communication that we have and we are using on daily basis, either with the Google or any other social media platform, I think it has evolved over time and it is evolving. It will keep on evolving. Back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak, for bringing a new dimension to the conversation with ChatGPT. So, moving on, I would like to invite another volunteer. I see Ankan's hand is up. So, Ankan, the topic for you is, would you rather live in a crowded city with internet access or a beautiful hillside with no internet? Would you rather live in a crowded city with internet access or a beautiful hillside with no internet? Toastmaster Ankan.
Yeah, thank you very much, Toastmaster Saurabh. So currently I live in Delhi, and I have a broadband connection here in my home. Sometimes when electricity goes off, my broadband also goes off, and I struggle with internet, and that frustrates me a lot. I am like, I always wonder what my life would be when there would be no internet, how I would survive even a day, even a moment. So that's how our life has been engaged, has been revolving around internet. We always criticize that internet has done this, it has addicted us to mobile phone and laptops, to virtual world, but we are dependent on it, on internet all the time. I have also tried using feature phone so that I could remove smartphone from my life. I could eliminate smartphone from my life. And within couple of days, I just needed Google Map for something, and I wasn't having any smartphone. And after that, I needed online payment. I wasn't having any smartphone. So and just within a moment, I understood that it's not possible. Feature phone, it's fine. There are some initiative government has took for rural areas where smartphones are not accessible, so that you can do online payment and stuff on through feature phone. But for us, when we have got ourselves so much comfortable and convenient in using internet and online payments, we cannot use smartphone and light methods for virtual transaction and virtual interaction. Having said that, I mentioned earlier that I went for trekking trip to McLeodganj. Though there was internet, but when I was at the top of mountain, I was at the summit. There wasn't internet connection at the top, so it was complete blank, no mobile phone, nothing. But I realized that it was a time when I was actually at peace because of my mindset, my own mindset. I was prepared that there would be no internet there, so I was prepared for that, for the casualty that will happen without internet. But I was at peace. I was enjoying the sightseeing and everything. I was enjoying my barbecue and everything. But so that is the thing. It's all about mindset, I would say. If you are prepared that you can live without internet, or you should be trying to minimize your internet exposure to yourself, then you can take some methods to minimize your exposure. Like, I don't use much of the social media. You asked this earlier, Facebook, Instagram, or even WhatsApp. I don't use them much, just for important conversation or important interaction. I don't use them much. So because I have decided in my mindset that I will be minimizing my internet exposure only for necessary things. Like, for example, Google itself, it becomes necessary to access internet. That's when I do it. That's when I go on using internet and accessing it. That would be my take. That what I would prefer personally is a hillside without internet. That gives me a lot of peace. But practically, it won't be possible for more than 7 days or 10 days. Then I have to come back to my normal life and using internet for the necessity. But yeah, this mindset should be there, that you don't have to overuse it, and don't have to overexpose yourself to internet. That would be my take. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ankan, for your personal insights into this topic, and that we can all use a balance while using internet. So for the next topic, I see the volunteer Arjun. So I think we will give a new topic for you now, since you've had too much time with that old topic.
Yeah,
So
is my background noise okay? It's not irritating, no?
yes, should be fine. So the topic is, if you were to start a YouTube channel, what content would you create? If you were to start a YouTube channel, what content would you create? Toastmaster.
Oh, I will tell you the story of my life. Come, my child, come, my children, come everybody. My basic, the biggest influence on my life so far has been this podcast called Hardcore History, and it is by a guy named Dan Carlin, and he presents the events of world history. He doesn't focus much on the Indian side, but he focuses on world history And I was so influenced by this that I would listen to his podcast over and over again. He has 3-hour podcast on the history of Cyrus the Great, on the history of the fall of the Roman Republic, on World War II, on the wrath of the Khans, Genghis Khan and the Mongol horde, on the Battle of the East Pacific and all that. And I was a huge fan. And I decided I wanted to do the same for the kings of the Deccan in the medieval period, because I wanted to create a podcast of a similar theatrical quality, which would which would cover the Indian side of things, and especially the overlooked part of Indian history is the lords of the Deccan. Because anytime we learn history, it's all about Chandragupta Maurya, Ashok, Sultans, Mughals, British, and that's it. Like, we generally ignore what the Cholas were doing, what the Chalukyas were doing, what the Pallavas. I mean, Raja Raja Chola was a pretty awesome guy. I mean, he went all the way to Cambodia. Even today, the biggest Hindu temple in the world is in Cambodia. So how can we ignore all that? So anyway, so I recorded my first podcast and I hated listening to my voice. And I said, I don't even know how to speak. I don't know how to project. I don't know how to write. I don't know anything. So I need to work on that. And since I was in a tier 2 city like Visakhapatnam at the time, I decided to go attend an open mic, a comedy open mic, thinking, okay, I will be able to work on my podcasting skills by doing open mic. And then I started doing that, and everybody was telling me, there is no way you can ever be a performer. You're a good writer. Focus on writing. Please stop performing. It's a pain to hear you perform anything. And then that pissed me off. That was like, who are you to tell me? I mean, I might be bad, but who are you? No, you are nobody to tell me to stop doing this. So then that really stuck to me, and I enjoyed performing also. I did not discover this. And so after that, I became a proper, like, I kind of became a proper performer. And now that old dream, I feel like now I can attack it again, but I don't think if I ever will. So if I had to start a YouTube channel, I would definitely make it about, it would be a hardcore history, Indian hardcore history about the Lords of the Deccan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arjun. I think it's sounds like an excellent idea, and maybe you should give it a try.
Yeah.
So I think we have time and space for one more table topic. So if we have any volunteers, we can go ahead. Okay, I see Toastmaster Lavina's hand. And so Toastmaster Lavina, the topic for you is self-belief is a must to start your own business. Self-belief is a must to start your own business. Toastmaster Lavina.
I'll just take a moment here. So when I so when I started thinking about doing something for my passion, as I have talked about it earlier, also I have a passion for talking about climate change, educating about climate change. So all the focus went to, how can I portray it in an engaging manner, because talking about such a sensitive and such a repulsive topic rather is very it takes a lot of thinking and lot of planning and a lot of things to make it jazzy. So when I started thinking more about it, I came about this awesome course that was that online, that was happening online, and there I joined it, and there I learned so many things, and every session was such a deep dive in topics like carbon markets and carbon trading and stuff. So that made me think that I am the kind of education and the kind of knowledge that I have, it's just the, it's just the tip of the iceberg. The whole iceberg is yet to come in, and I'm yet to soak in that the whole thing. So I've been that day and today I have been keeping aside some time reading about things, and being present in such a moment where every action is so crucial in this challenge. And as in being a nation, being an individual, and being an educator about climate change, it makes such a huge difference. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Lavina. I think it's great to see that a lot of us have had personal experiences with starting their own business or freelancing. So I think this concludes our table topic session. Thanks everyone for giving their inputs. Hope we all learned a lot from this. Over to you, Toastmaster Lokesh, TMOD.
Thank you, Toastmaster Karthikeya. So we're back to hiring. I'll give you a very interesting story. Although it was not for a senior post, there was a boy who came in with a reference that he wanted to do some work, basic work. He has been working for some Amazon seller for doing listing for 7 years. Then he was really struggling badly. He worked till Diwali last year at a store at a very, very less salary, I would say, not even a salary, I would say, when you are earning 11,000 for 11 hours working in the store. So I said, yes, we can make use of an extra man in a company. So, and he knows how to do a job on the laptop or desktop. So I said, okay, start coming. Surprisingly, after the third day of coming in the office, because it was March end, I was in a bank for something, and as you not to be very offensive on bank managers, March end and you're in a bank, they expect you to do something, right? So he said, why don't you have insurance or give us some target? I said, okay, I have everything covered up. I'm on the age where you are basically sloping down, so no big investments can be from me. I'm pretty sorted out. But yes, I have a new employee, and we might have other more employees, but those hirings are still not being done. So why don't you give us a medical insurance of 50,000 for a new boy? This is a basic salary of 15, 16, 17,000. And I'm sure he will not have any insurance. I came back to the office and I told my office manager that somebody will call you from the bank and get Deepak get a medical insurance, because he moves out of office. He might have to go to do something because we have another office in Patel Nagar. We might have some work. Just thinking aloud, I spoke in front of him. Next morning, he did not turn up for his office. And the office manager called him at 10:30. He said, no, I am getting scared that you guys are having my medical insurance. So I will be sent on a field, and I'm not a field guy. And then the office manager told me that, what have you told him? I said, I never told him that we don't have a field job, first of all. We are services people. We don't sell anything. We have not a shop. Even we don't have customers in India. So where will you go on the field to do what? He said, no, he said, I'm getting scared that you are having an insurance for me. So you'll be sending me every day out of office. So I'm not a person. So eventually I called him in the afternoon and I said, okay, how did you think that you are a field guy? He said, no, first day you asked me that since I live in close to Dwarka, and there was something we dropped at Janakpuri, like Bharti College. If you guys remember, I'm having some virtual assistants in the college. The girls work for us. And there was a directory to be sent. So when you are living in Dwarka and you are going by bus, and we're saying, okay, you go on the way is Janakpuri, what can you drop that directory and we'll pay? Eventually that payment to your home will be an office expense. You also say 50 rupees. When somebody is earning 15,000, 17,000, 50 rupees saving is also a big saving. This is my thought process. I said, okay, this will be an office expense. Second day again, he said this CPU is not working, so I'm a hard hardware guy. I've learned this and I can figure it out. I have a friend in Janakpuri, I can get this done. So second day he went with the CPU because that is the CPU he was supposed to work. And I have a person in Satyam Cinema, which is close to our office, which I trust this guy. But I said, I have somebody in Janakpuri. And again, my mind started to work. Okay. He said, again, Janakpuri, and he lives in Dwarka, very close, like across Janakpuri. I said, okay, get this CPU repaired and then don't come back to the office. You leave at 3 o'clock and you get it repaired and go home and come back tomorrow morning. So only 2 days you are out for a particular reason that you live in very close to Janakpuri. There are 2 tasks, one which actually you suggested to go to Janakpuri. How can you arrive at a situation that you are saying, I have been out in the field and now you're getting my insurance done. I will be a field manager. So example to give you today is the perception people have when they are starting a job. It's not about a junior manager or a guy who's not very experienced. Is maybe a very senior person also can think of what you can look at and what is their perception of the responsibilities. What is your perception of helping them? We were getting a medical insured because we know he's not going to afford any medical insurance. He might get sick. COVID and all those things have taught us that you can easily get sick. Right now, the viral which it's a COVID, it's a viral COVID. Everything is now on record that anybody who's had a viral is a variant of COVID. So we thought of covering him medically so that at least we are not harmed, he is not harmed, and we will be happy having an employee covered by insurance, and he should be happy and very relaxed. But look at his perception of looking at things. He was not even bothered about his medical insurance. He was more bothered about sending him to a field job. Anyway, these are pains and pleasure of hiring and successfully getting into a YouTube channel making. I will now bring our evaluation section finally in the third section here, and I'll invite Toastmaster Mehak, who is a general evaluator, to finish the third section of evaluations. Toastmaster Mehak, virtual stage is yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Lokesh, for such an engaging session. Now, I would like to take it up further. And first of all, I would like to invite on stage our Toastmaster Karthike, who is the evaluator for Toastmaster Deepthi, who is going to give the evaluation report for her speech. So I would request Toastmaster Karthike to please come up on stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. So before I begin, I would like to say that this is my first evaluation and I've been done a great disservice because I was expecting an easy, I wasn't expecting such an intimidatingly good speaker to evaluate. Like maybe I could have gotten an icebreaker person or some, let's just say, less than decent speaker, but she was really good. Now, generally in an offline club, we also evaluate a lot on stage movements and stuff, but I guess since that's not possible here, it's an opportunity to concentrate more on her facial expressions, which were impeccable here. She was really good at facial expressions, and that is something we could all learn from. Her structure of the speech was really well. She lured us into the lesson she intended to teach us through a well-chosen anecdote of what was her name? I forgot. It was Rani something, I think. Can anyone help me with that?
Maya Rani.
Maya Rani. Okay. It was Maya Rani. So that anecdote of Maya Rani, she used beautifully to lure us into the lesson she wanted to teach us. Now, a criticism I would like to mention in her speeches, and that is not for the content of her speech, but her cadence and her demeanor itself. For my taste, personally, I think it's my opinion, while what I'm about to say can be considered her strength, but I think for my own taste, it was a bit too poetic. It sounded like she was reading an audiobook. Like, have you heard audiobooks online? It sounded like that a bit too much. So she could add more of a raw element to her speeches. I think that would help. Again, this could be a strength too, but that's just for my taste. And adding a raw element to your speech would help everyone. So TM Mohit also mentioned this in the chat, and I would like to repeat it too, that her conclusion could have been a bit more concrete. I think that was left a bit more vague, a bit vague at the end. And at the end, I would like to say that it is a belief of my own that if you are doing a favor for someone, you should not expect in return anything else for yourself if you are doing a favor for someone. And that is a similar advice to the lesson she intended to give us in the speech, which was give your advice carefully in an unselfish way and don't slide in personal attacks in your advices. So that was a useful advice and giving advice in general. Again, overall a great speech, an intimidating speaker to evaluate. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Karthikeya, for your debut role as an evaluator. And I think you did quite justice to your role. So now I would like to invite on stage our timer for the meeting to give his report, to give his timer's report. Toastmaster Mohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. I'll start with the prepared speeches, and we had one prepared speaker today, Toastmaster Deepti. For Toastmaster Deepti, she actually exceeded the time limit. She spent 8 minutes and 10 seconds for her speech. So something to watch out for Toastmaster Deepti. Moving on to the table topics. I was the first speaker with the topic, why is YouTube so successful? I believe I was within time. I don't have the exact timeline, but I ended soon after the red card was shown. So I think it would be close to 2 minutes for me. Second speaker was Toastmaster Rahul. Freelancing versus employee. He spoke for 1 minute and 29 seconds. Next speaker was Karthikeya. Favorite social media platform. He spoke for 2 minutes and 29 seconds. Mehak was the next speaker. Internet has forever changed how we interact with each other. She spoke for 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Ankan with the topic crowded city crowded city with internet or hillside without any internet. That was his topic. He spoke for 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So it was well over the time limit. So something for you to take care of, Toastmaster Ankan. Next, we had Toastmaster Arjun with his YouTube channel that he's going to start. He spoke for 2 minutes and 50 seconds. So again, some way over the time limit. Toastmaster Lavina, self-belief is more important to start your own business was the topic, and she spoke for 2 minutes and 8 seconds, so well within the time limit. For evaluations, Toastmaster Karthikeya spoke for 3 minutes and 20 seconds. That's all I have for my report, and I'll hand it over back to you, Toastmaster Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit, for time taking. Next, I would like to invite on stage our counter for the day, Toastmaster Ghulam, to share his report.
Thank you, Toastmaster Mehak. Please let me share my screen first. Can anyone confirm my? Okay.
I will give you the access. Are you able to share the screen?
I'm trying, but it's not. Okay, let me know once you're all able to see it.
Yeah, we can see now.
Okay, so let me start with Toastmaster Lokesh. So we heard some of the filler words and sounds from Toastmaster Lokesh. The first one is the ah. He used that 2 times. Then one, one, so one, and one unnecessary pause in between, and he repeats anyway. And the other thing that I notice is sound of from him. And then on Toastmaster Mehak, there was two sound of and some other words like ba. And on Toastmaster Mohit, who was the timer and active listener as well, he said 7 times and 1 times, then so, and repeats and. Then on Toastmaster Saurabh, that was table topic master also, he used 7 times, 2 times, so 5 times, and the other word that he used in while he was talking is you know. And on Toastmaster Dipti, I was not able to record anything. I was like in some audio mode. And on Toastmaster Gulam, I spare myself. And in Toastmaster Lavina, there was 12 times she used then 1 times, then so 2 times, and there were no unnecessary pause repeats and other. And on Toastmaster Karthik, there was 5 times, 3 times, so was more times, like 10 times. Then there was
next cap रुक जा phone मत ले.
there was unnecessary pause 1 times and repeats and any. And on Toastmaster Devan has not participated. Guest Rahul used 4 times and the other word you know. And Toastmaster Arjun used 3 times, 1 times, like 1 times. Unnecessary pause was in between 1 time, repeats word was used and the other word is I mean. And Toastmaster Ankan used 4 times, 2 times, but 2 times, and there was some other words which was disturbing the speech like because and yeah. So this was my overall report. Back to you, Mehak. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gulam, for sharing such a visual representation and an effective feedback for as an counter. Now, I would like to invite on stage our grammarian for the meeting, Toastmaster Lavina, to share her report.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. So, I think throughout the meeting about the good usages of English, I would say a lot of good usages in the part where we hear from TM Lokesh, the TMOD Lokesh. And definitely when he goes back to the audience and, that conversation thing, building over the conversation, that has been very well put throughout the call. And moving on to Toastmaster Deepti's speech, I must say I almost every time want to become an evaluator when I hear her speak. I think it's almost like a silken music, like jazz, listening to her speech. And a lot of good usages when she's talking about telling the story of the conversation she had. And the one-sided conversation she had with Lady Maya, and a lot of good usages of phrasal verbs and everything in there. Next, talking about the table topic sections, I heard a lot of good usages from almost all the speakers, and very loud call out to Toastmaster Lokesh, who never fails to use the word of the day. Every time I have been the grammarian, I have heard him use the word of the day. So kudos to TM Lokesh for that. Now talking about the bad usages, I heard a couple of them in the during the discussion on the theme. Somewhere when we are mentioning the interview, and sometimes when we are mixing the interviewer and the interviewee. So there sometimes I heard that there was a mix-up, and so these three would be separate things and could not be used interchangeably. And in the table topic section, somewhere when we are talking about, I think, not really about the topic wherein I don't remember the topic exactly, but where the speaker was telling about going to the, as in going without internet and with the internet, something like that. So there a bit of misses there I heard, and yeah, I think mostly the rest of the evaluation section as well has been quite clean and quite enjoyable in that terms. I think that's about it from my end as a grammarian. Over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravina, for sharing such a detailed detailed report as a grammarian. Next up, I will call the active listener towards the end for a fun session. Till that time, I would summarize up my report as a general evaluator. So starting with, I think it was a well-organized and an engaging meeting with some excellent role plays that we have seen today. Starting with the Sergeant camps, I think Toastmaster Mohit did a very great job. He introduced at the initial point, he introduced the meeting flow of the meeting, as well as the housekeeping rules that in a Toastmasters meeting that you have to well equipped with. Further up, we called upon the guest, starting with the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Lokesh, again, absolutely fabulous job keeping the meeting on track, having a great transition about his roles and keeping a positive atmosphere of the meeting. Also providing us facts about YouTube and how he is sharing funny anecdotes about his own personal life and his own stories about interviews and how he equipped with them. So I think kudos to you for that. Just a recommendation for you would be to engage the audience as well, because personally for me, I felt that in the second session before the table topic segment, you could have put on some activity or a little bit of fun segment for the guest and for the members as well, just to have an engaging with the interaction with the teammates as well. Next up, moving upon to the table topic master, a round of an applause for debut role for Toastmaster Saurabh and table topic master, who created some thought-provoking table topics. And I think I personally loved the table topics that you shared, Saurabh. So I think that challenged the speakers, and upon that, they were also linked to the theme for the meeting today. So kudos to you for that. Moving upon finally to the evaluator, Toastmaster Karthike, who indeed also did a fabulous job as his debut role for an evaluator. He did quite justice to the giving his evaluation report for the first time. Just a little bit of recommendation for you would be to, during the evaluation itself, just avoid taking any suggestions from the audience. You can ask a question, but for the evaluation itself, it could have been avoided. Moving upon to the role players, I think all the role players did a fabulous job. Starting with the timer, Toastmaster Mohit, he was interactive and he also shared the screen whenever he was supposed to show the timer cards. Just a suggestion for you would be that you could have in the initial point itself, being asked the speakers to pin you either on their screen, because I guess some of the speakers used a mobile phone, so they were not able to see you. Maybe because of that, they could have overshone the time. But anyways, you did a fabulous job as a timer. Moving upon to the R counter, I think Toastmaster Gulam did a fantastic job, while you also shared your visual report as an R counter. So kudos to you for that. Moving upon to the grammarian, I think Toastmaster Ravina covered all the aspects of as a grammarian. She mentioned the good usages. Just a food for thought for you, Ravina, that you could have mentioned not the bad usages, because in Toastmasters, we usually not put a reference to the word bad. It could have been used as not so good usages, just to refrain from using the word bad. I think overall, all the role players did an excellent job. and just a few areas of improvement would all make the opportunity to elevate the role players, the speakers, and the evaluators. So thank you, everyone. And back to you, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Lokesh.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mehak. So before we part, I will give you one important feedback. When you hire new people, especially this is a team of 4 or 5 people working in a new office, new environment, hire somebody trustworthy to manage them. So my office manager was somebody who I 100% trust, known to me for a long time. Even and especially when I'm traveling overseas, I would like to make sure that my office is running smoothly. There's no hiccups. An accountant, a person just randomly doing anything at all, basic skill of communication and laptop and computer is enough. And an office manager. That is the most important tool if you're looking at building a YouTube channel or even starting anything as an office. Those of the 30 years of my experience or 25 years of my experience running offices in Noida and Delhi and all those places, a big team has like 20-25 people. Even though this will be a small team of 8 people, you still require people who you can trust. So it might take a while, but once they are there, make sure that they can do everything possible for you to make you grow. And they should know that if you are growing, they're also growing. With that note, a serious note, nothing funny, I would hand over the stage back to Toastmaster Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Lokesh, for the concluding segment. Now, I think I missed upon calling the active listener for the day. So I would like to call upon Toastmaster Mohit for the active listening session.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mehak. And this is hopefully going to be a fun session. This is my debut role as the active listener, so I hope I can do justice to my role. I'm going to ask you a few questions. Whoever knows the answer, just raise your hand, virtual hand or real hand, whatever, and then I'll give the control to you to answer. Okay. So the first question is, Toastmaster Lokesh mentioned that Toastmasters is in many countries. It's in over 100 countries. Exactly how many countries is Toastmasters in? Okay, I'll give it to Toastmaster Saurabh.
I think you mentioned 144 countries.
It's exactly right. Round of applause. Next question. And this has to be somebody other than Saurabh. What is the full form of PPC? Okay, some hands have gone up. I'll give it to Toastmaster Ghulam.
Pay-per-click.
Exactly right. Round of applause. Next question. Once again, Toastmaster Lokesh mentioned that you should add something on top of your CV when you're sending in for a job. What is that something extra that you must add on the CV? Toastmaster, I'll give it to Toastmaster Rahul.
I think writing a cover letter.
Exactly, bingo. Round of applause for Toastmaster Rahul. What was the title of Toastmaster Deepti's speech? Yeah, it has to be somebody other than Karthikeya. I hope he knows. Okay, I see.
It has to be someone other than Deepti also. She also had her hand.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, I see Rahul's hand has gone up. So yeah, I'll give it to you again, once again, Rahul.
Title of Toastmaster Deepti's speech, right? That's the question. Meet Maya Rani.
Exactly right.
Earlier, I thought it's Meet Maya Rani, but later on, I got to know it's Meet Maya Rani.
Okay, fantastic. Okay, next question. It was mentioned in the meeting where Saurabh hails from. Does anybody know, other than Saurabh, of course? Okay, Toastmaster Mehak.
Chandigarh.
Exactly right. I hope you heard it in the meeting and it wasn't your general knowledge, but anyway, we'll give it to you. Okay, Karthikeya mentioned about his favorite social media channel. He actually mentioned 2. Can somebody tell me those 2 social media channels? We'll give it to Toastmaster Lavina to answer.
YouTube and LinkedIn.
That's exactly right. Okay. Now, Toastmaster Mehak in her table topic speech talked about a tool which is very popular these days. What was that tool? Okay, quite a lot of hands have gone up. I'll give it to Ankan. Actually, he hasn't spoken.
ChatGPT. It is everywhere.
Okay, round of applause. I think you guys are all doing a fantastic job in listening. Okay, next question, and this is somebody other than Ankan to answer. Toastmaster Ankan said that he would prefer, or he actually acquiesced that he would rather live on one of these two things. Right? Either the question was about whether he would like to live on a hillside with no internet or a crowded city with internet. What did he sort of acquiesce on in terms of his option? Okay, who do I give it to? Okay, Ghulam. Let's give it to Ghulam.
You wanted to live with internet.
With internet. Okay, like he finally, are you sure? Let's hear out from others as well. Karthikeya, what do you have to say?
He wanted to live in the hills ideally, but he couldn't survive more than 7 to 10 days. So he wants to practically live in the city with internet.
Yeah. Okay, that was a bit of a trick question. Okay, what
Kind of
is? Yeah,
kind of said both.
he did. Yeah, you kind of said both. Okay. Now, next question is about Toastmaster Arjun. Toastmaster Arjun is inspired by a particular podcast. What was the name of that podcast? What is the name of the podcast that inspired Toastmaster Arjun? In fact, he wants to start his own podcast or YouTube channel with the same name. Okay, right. Some people were actively listening. Okay, Toastmaster Deepthi. All right, we'll give it to you, Deepthi.
Yeah, I think it was the world history something.
World history. I see
Karthik
some
is shaking his head.
nodding heads already. You are close, but that's not the exact one. Anybody else? It was hardcore history. Okay, next, and this is going to be the last question. Toastmaster Lavina mentioned that she is extremely passionate about something. What is it that Toastmaster Lavina is passionate about? Okay. Is there anybody who hasn't spoken? Deepthi, Karthikeya, Mehak. Anybody else remembers? Otherwise, we'll give it to... Okay, let's give it once again to Karthikeya.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, and it was not anyone else, it was climate change activism.
Ah, yes, it was.
Okay.
It was. Round of applause for everybody. And I hope you like the questions that I had brought in for you. And with that, I would like to hand over the stage once again back to Toastmaster Mehak.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit, for such a fun segment for the meeting. Now, with this, as we proceed towards the end of the session, I would request all of you to please give. Now we'll proceed towards the voting. So I will start with the polls. First, I'm launching the polls for the best table topic speaker. And for that, I am pasting the names of the speakers in the chat. I hope you're able to see the polls, and I have pasted the names of the speakers in the chat. There are 7 speakers, and the names of all of them has been pasted.
I can only see the number speaker 1, 2, 3. No
Yes,
names.
the names have been pasted on the chat.
Achha, on the chat. Oh, got it. Sorry.
Mehak, you might want to remove the co-host rights that the rest of us have.
Okay. For the next one, I will do. I would request for this one, The
He'll
code
send
was
you.
sending
Hmm.
a direct message. Yes.
Yeah, we can send in the chat box actually.
So I'm waiting for 2 more votes and then we'll close this. Okay, so I'm waiting for one last vote. Okay, so now I'm ending the poll for this one. Thank you so much, everyone. Now I'm sharing the polls for the best auxiliary role player. Best auxiliary role player, Grammarian, it was Toastmaster Lavina. For active listener, it was Toastmaster Mohit. Timer, Toastmaster Mohit. And our counter, Toastmaster Ghulam. I repeat once again, Grammarian, Toastmaster Lavina. Active listener, Toastmaster Mohit. Timer, Toastmaster Mohit. And our counter, Toastmaster Ghulam. I'm waiting for just one last vote.
So I am sharing my vote in the chat box.
Okay. Yes, Lukesh, sir. Received for your. So now I'm ending the poll for this one. Thank you so much, everyone. And now for the best role player. Teamot, Toastmaster Lukesh, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Saurabh, and General Evaluator, Toastmaster Mehak. I'm waiting for 2 more votes. Yeah, I'm waiting for one last vote now. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I'm ending the poll now. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for voting. Now, before announcing the winners, I would first like to take up the feedback from our guest. So first of all, I would like to invite on stage Toastmaster Karthikeya to please give a feedback about the meeting today.
The meeting, I think, exceeded my expectations. I didn't expect the online meeting to be quite well organized and this good. Everyone took their roles very seriously and played them out really well. And okay, that's all I have to say. Yeah, that it was a really good meeting, and I think I hope so. Well, by now I know how a Toastmasters club in general functions. So I hope the you having one speaker is because of the roll sheet not getting filled properly and not because you only allow one speaker, right? You do allow more than one speakers, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that would be if you had a rule that we only have one speaker, that would have been a negative feedback from me. But no, you do allow more speakers. So okay, that's all I have to say.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Karthikeya. And I wish to see you coming more often to the club, sharing your inputs. It was a pleasure to host you today.
Thank you so much.
Next up, I would like to invite Toastmaster Rahul to please give a feedback about the meeting.
Okay. Hi, everyone. So I enjoyed the meeting. Loved the speech by Toastmaster Deepti and some great insights by Toastmaster Lokesh in his Teamot theme. So some great insights on the interview process. And I think, I mean, overall, I liked the meeting. I like that, that creativity by Toastmaster Mohit, where he had that, traffic light signals to show the timer cards. I am actually used to seeing those, PowerPoint slides when it comes to timer cards. So although yes, I like, but somehow I don't know, I miss checking that. But I just estimated that okay, no, it's time to wrap up my speech. Don't know it is a feedback or maybe I'm not used to it, but just sharing my thought. And I think overall it was good. Yes, there was definitely one distraction. I think the person who was sitting next to Toastmaster Mehak, that was a bit of a distraction for me, though it was funny as well. But yes, it was a distraction, and especially when you are playing a journal evaluator role, which is a very big role. You are giving the feedback for the whole meeting, so that is something I just found it a bit distracting, but overall I really enjoyed the meeting. It was a good session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rahul, for sharing your feedback with us. And we hope to overcome all the distractions and the things that we can improve upon. Thank you so much. Now, I would like to call upon. Okay, I think we're done with all the guests. If anyone wants to share any of their feedback or something from the meeting, you are all welcome. The stage will be yours. If
Okay,
anyone-
I just wanted to ask, is there no networking break in between your meeting? Like there was in Toastmasters Club, usually I've noticed that there is a networking break, like after the table topic session. So there was no such break. Well, maybe it's not possible online, I don't know, but is there a reason to which you don't have a networking break?
We have it towards the end of the session. So
Okay, so at the end of the
after
session, we
this-
just hang out online.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, then that issue is solved. Okay.
Okay, so with this, now we will quickly wrap up. So I would like to announce the winners. So starting with, I think let's start with the best table topic speaker itself. So any guesses for the best table topic speaker? Almost all of us spoke for the KKK. Any guesses? Anyone?
Karthikeyan?
Ankan.
Okay. So for this, it's a tie between two speakers. It is Toastmaster Mohit and Toastmaster Karthikeyan. So round of an applause for both of you. Congratulations.
YouTube wins hands down.
Okay, now coming back to the best auxiliary role player. So any guesses for the best auxiliary role player?
Toastmaster Mohit.
Mohit.
Well, yes, no doubt. It is Toastmaster Mohit, the active listener for the day. A round of an applause for him. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now for the best role player. So I guess that was a really trick question for all of us, because I have received the votes and all the votes are equal. So I think that all the three have got the best role player award. So I think a round of an applause for all of us. The teamwork, the table topic master, and the general evaluator, the votes are same for all of us.
Wow, that's awesome. Hat trick.
Mhm.
Yes, so a round of an applause. Congratulations to Toastmaster Lokesh and Toastmaster Saurabh. It was your debut role as well.
Yeah.
And now
Thank
for the
you.
now moving on to the best speaker and the best evaluator. Another difficult question. Well, it is Toastmaster Deepti and Toastmaster Karthik. A round of an applause for both of you. Congratulations. So with this, now it is the time for our newsletter. So we are going to launch our newsletter for the month of Feb and January. So here I'm going to share the screen. So this is the newsletter of Toastmasters Club of Storytellers. I hope you're able to see my screen.
No, not yet.
It's coming up.
Okay, it might taking some time to load.
Has to be prettier than this. It's a black screen right now.
Its scale is black.
Yeah, Oh, it's
Okay,
come up now.
now we can see. Yeah.
Okay. So explaining the highlights for this month and for the month of Feb and for the month of March was that we have got our hands on the weekly prompt, which was an initiative by Toastmaster Mohit. We have got our hands on a testimonial being shared by Toastmaster Ekta for our website, the mission statement that we launched, and the proud storytellers that we have witnessed in the new storytellers, I would say, that we have got in the month of March, and our newsletter that's been called the Story Power. So moving ahead, we have first our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Deepti's address about her journey in Toastmasters Club of Storytellers and about her journey in Toastmasters. Moving ahead, we have a poem shared by Toastmaster Ankan, which has also got the highlight for our newsletter for the month of Feb. Moving upon, we have
So are these
got the
clickable
highlight from
links?
yes.
These- Ah, nice.
Moving upon, we have why Toastmasters and why to join Toastmasters information shared by Toastmaster Lokesh that has also got the highlight. So you can click upon the thumbnail above to watch the video for the same. Then we also have an article shared by Toastmaster Ankur. We have got the opportunity to publish his article since it was his level 4 blogging elective that he was supposed to write for 7 articles, I guess. He has shared and he has chosen TCSK blog to publish and to as a platform to write. So if you want to hear more about his stories and about his whole blog that he shared for the 7 days, I would request you to visit our website for the same. Then we have a beautiful story being shared by Toastmaster Mohit that has also got the highlight, and here goes the story. Towards the end of the newsletter, we have the weekly storytelling prompt that was also being shared by Toastmaster Mohit. That is a new initiative that we have started. In the words of Toastmaster Mohit, he believes that 25 minutes of daily writing is like a therapy. And so we should indulge in that habit. And that's what the mission of Toastmasters Club of Storyteller is, to promoting the writing, sharing the stories, so that he has shared the daily writing prompt. And that's here for the day 1, that's here for the day 2, and more often he is being sharing it, and we have it on the official page of Storytellers. Moving upon, we have the new members who have joined our club: Toastmaster Saurabh, Toastmaster Disha, Toastmaster Lakshay, and Toastmaster Gulam. Coming towards the end, this was the club's mission that was being launched. A proud moment for all of us since our website has been growing and has been receiving quite a lot of views. A testimonial that was being shared by past division director Toastmaster Ekta. And a proud moment for storytellers indeed, Toastmaster Mohit, who made it to the division level by winning the international speech contest, and now he is going to contest at the district level as an international speech contest. And it was me who got the second runner-up in the division level table topics contest. So now a piece of information for all of you that what's coming up. It's on the 9th of April, we are going to have a book writing session from an author itself, Toastmaster. He was a Toastmaster initially, from author Rohan Batra, who is going to share his insights about his book. So I would request every one of you to join a session to learn about his skills about writing a book. So this was all from the newsletter. I think you liked it. And we're also going to share it on the official page on the and the website as well. So thank you so much, everyone. With this, now I close the recording for the session, and the session is open for chit chat.